Hey there guys, Sherman here, and today we are, I was going to say attacking, but today we are tackling, that's the word. Today we are tackling the very first skirmish in MOWAS Assault Squad 2 for the British, or for the Commonwealth I should say, because the Commonwealth faction also includes troops from Canada, Australia, and of course Ireland, Scotland, and England themselves. I'm not sure there's any Welsh battalions. I'm pretty sure that there are a couple of Welsh battalions that can be acquired through mods, but the game itself does have Brits, Scots I believe, also an Irish regiment if I'm not mistaken, and Anzac troops, which are basically Australian and New Zealand troops. So our first task here is to defend the little flag back here from a not too heavy German assault with some some cool wagons, these little machine gun armored cars, and some infantry. And we do have a guy with a AT rifle at the ready to help us defend the flag against a little bit more armored targets. So we're holding it quite well. There's a truck there with some infantry in it. Infantry, of course, jumping out as soon as the truck got hit in the engine. Not a fire, which is actually surprising to me, because usually if you shoot these things in the engine a couple of times, they will catch fire. So I have to hold out for about a minute. This is just the first mission for the Commonwealth, so it's a very straight and simple mission. There's not a lot to do. You just have to defend this point and attack a couple of other points further down along the road. Later missions will get a lot tougher. And as in here, there's only one or two flag points which you actually have to capture, whereas in a a normal between brackets skirmish, you actually have to capture about I think 10 points, 3 lines of free, and then one line or one separate line. Now this guy has a big freaking rifle on his back, which is an AT rifle, the boys' rifle if I'm not mistaken. I need this guy to take out the Panzer I. There we go, that's a track damage. And that's a hull damage. Okay, hull damage basically means that a tank is dead and it needs to be repaired by the crew before it can be used again. Basically, hull damage means there's such a big gap somewhere in the hull that it will allow rifle fire to go through it, and that's why they cannot man the tank until it is repaired. Don't ask me how they're going to repair a gap in the hull on the field. It's just I don't know. It's just possible. Okay, so we got some infantry. Got a little armored car.
Great job.
Daimler Mark 1 with a 40mm gun. I have to say this armored car is not going to withstand any sort of AT fire, because it only has 18mm of armor, but it can dish out the pain. It has a coaxial and a 40mm gun, and that is very good against infantry, which is the main thing you'll encounter in the earlier skirmishes, in the earlier stages of a skirmish, I should say. So the armored car can easily withstand any sort of machine gun fire, because heavy machine guns cannot penetrate 18mm of armor apparently. So we're just gonna move up the armored car, take out these heavy MG42 emplacements, which will just annihilate infantry straight off the bat. So we're just gonna move up, loading HE. The coaxial AI is firing at the infantry right next to the machine gun. Use the coaxial to take out a little bit more of this infantry. Make sure to kill and finish off infantry with SMGs, because they can actually throw AT grenades. AT grenades are probably next to AT rifles, the thing that will most possibly kill your light armored cars. Same goes for multiplayer. If you're playing multiplayer and you're confident enough, you can handle a light armored car like the Hummer or the Daimler or Stuart or MA Greyhound or even a Puma. Just be aware of people that are pros with that use their AT rifles, because an AT rifle can make quick work of pretty much any armored car. Armored cars do not have enough armor to shrug off those 37mm or sometimes even bigger AT rifle. What the hell is this guy doing? Or bigger AT rifle shots. So it's a very, very important that you keep an eye on guys with SMGs like that guy right there. This guy's a rifle. He's not a big threat, but since there's nobody else around, I'll just finish this guy off. Hopefully, that was there we go. That should do it. And then we're going to finish off the guys around No, that's a guy with a SMG. Oh, rifleman. Okay, didn't see that. Okay, I'm being hit by something. Crew injured means the crew has been shot, and I'm not sure what that is. So I need to watch out and look for an obvious ambush spot. This is a squad leader with a... That's an officer. Okay, I need to obviously watch out for anyone that could have an AT rifle. I don't actually see anyone, so I'm just gonna roll over here. Hopefully, okay, we just captured the first flag. Hopefully annihilate some of the infantry up here so our infantry can move up and cover the flag while our armored car moves up. Here's a little cutscene of a M4A4 Tullips, I believe. It's basically just a Sherman with 2 added rocket launchers on the side. Looks really cool.
Major, the enemy knocked out one of our tanks nearby. See if you can repair and recover this armor.
So we're gonna lose this flag again. That's alright, because we're gonna get a Matilda.
Matilda
for the I was gonna say United Kingdom. For the Commonwealth is a very good tank in the early stages. It is a very good. Oh, I just lost a Hummer to something. That's not good. But it's not. I mean, we can still survive. The Matilda is a very well armed tank. Not sure where the intro's going. That's not in the trench. This tank has 78. There we go. I was going to say 88, but it has 78 millimeters of frontal armor, which is just amazing for a very early unit. It has a 40 millimeter gun, so I'm expected to like punch through Panzer IVs from the front, but this thing can definitely punch through Panzer IVs from the side. And a well-placed APCR shot can still decimate a Panzer IV from the front, but of course APCR means you have to be a lot closer than an AP shell. Just keep that in mind that the Matilda is a very good early unit that the Brits can field. Its armor basically means that only heavy AT guns can penetrate it reliably at long distances, and a AT rifle has no chance against this one. A light pack like the Pak-36 has no chance whatsoever against the Matilda. Maybe the Pak-38, when it's really lucky and it gets a nice shot somewhere on a weak spot in the front of the Matilda, I could see it happening. Maybe there's little hatch right there. Otherwise, I honestly don't see a Matilda dying due to a Pak-38. Pak-38 is the medium AT gun the Germans can field. You see some sort of splashes next to the tank. That is probably, there's another one. That is probably an AT rifle. And I just see here that there's an AT rifle guy firing. The Panzerbuchse 38 or 39, I believe. Just gonna make sure I suppress this guy. Look, they're now suppressed, so that they're not gonna fire back. You can suppress while my HE is loading. Kill the support gunner. Keep fire on the guy. You see, I'm switching. This is very good in multiplayer as well. Unless the player actually manually commands the soldier to attack again, he's going to sit in cover, which now, as you can see, I could easily take him down. It took me a little time, but it was easy to take him down without him giving any return fire. And the return fire would have been impervious. I mean, my Matilda would have been impervious to any return fire. But if he had any armored cars nearby, especially in a multiplayer match, just remember to give some suppressive fire on infantry, and they'll stick down to the ground. Now, this is a 222 with a 20mm flak gun. It's down now. The KWK-30 is a very good gun against infantry, especially in multiplayer if you have a squad out in the open. Oh god, it's horrible. It's a nightmare. As soon as you see one of those cars pop up, just realize that you have to have something of an AT gun, a tank, or something along those lines to back up your infantry. Otherwise, it's going to shred it and make quick work of anything else that's light armored. I mean, the truck itself is only... The truck itself has like 30mm of armor, which definitely is not bad. It can withstand most... It can withstand light, like just rifles and pistols and SMGs. But it's very vulnerable, of course, to AT guns and tanks and even anti-tank rifles, which... Anti-tank rifles are very good, I guess, against the earlier units because they can easily penetrate them from a long range, and they're very cheap, and you can buy a couple of them if you just want to like defend the front line. So we have the Matilda attacking, slowly pushing up. The Matilda is always, when I'm playing skirmish or multiplayer, and it's I have a Matilda on the field, it's always my unit that starts and give out pressure to the enemy, because it's so heavily armored, nobody's going to be able to punch a hole through it in the early stages. So just make sure, like on the map you can see a couple of guys inside this building. So what we are going to do is we're going to have this rifleman go up to the Matilda. is a nice trick you could use if you don't already. Take out the TNT.
Got it, sir.
And give the Jerry's a nice surprise visit from Dr. Boom Boom. So we're gonna hide that guy. Here's the countdown timer on the TNT. There's definitely still a guy in there. And if there was a guy in there, he's now dead. So the Matilda, as you can see, also disappeared from the minimap, so that was a successful TNT charge. Now, there is an AT gun back here, which you can see in the map with a little triangle. It's only a Pack-36, which I already told you guys about. It's never ever going to penetrate the front armor of a Matilda. I would actually say it has problems getting into the side armor, but from this angle it's going to be impossible because I'm angled at a, well, about 30-degree angle against his AT gun, so it's going to be impossible for him to even like get near me and do any damage. Maybe he might take off a track. As soon as you're tracked, send up infantry to any tank. This goes for multiplayer, also for skirmish, especially for multiplayer. But as soon as you're tracked, keep something along your tank, because a tracked tank, like, I mean, this Sherman, for example, M4A4 Tullips, there we go, I said M4A1. As soon as a tank is tracked, it cannot move anymore, which basically means that the position it is in right now could be of a disadvantage to you, because it could easily be outflanked by an infantryman and you couldn't pull back in time. And even the heaviest of tanks, whether it's a Tiger or a Pershing or a Yak Panther or whatever the tank is, it could even be a King Tiger. A King Tiger could easily be killed by a partisan with one AT grenade. It's really impervious to, oh, I mean, not impervious, it's really dangerous to a tank when it's tracked, especially in an urban environment where people can easily sneak up to you. Of course, this is skirmish and there's no fog of war, so it means that you can see everyone on the map way over here. As you can see pretty much everything on the map. While if you were to do this, tank crew right here to man this Puma. Well, if you were playing some multiplayer, you actually do have to have a line of sight. So you'd see pretty much who's here and who's here because your tanks are in front of that. But you couldn't see what's going on over here. So you could easily be outflanked by a crawling guy that's crawling towards your tank with an AT grenade, making quick work of your tank, which would be a very big waste of MP, because tanks in multiplayer are very expensive. And they should be handled with extreme care and caution. So we have our infantry moving up to assault the little infantry that's left over here, so we can move them up right behind this wall to start giving pressure to the left side, while I'll actually give my Matilda some more power to move up. There is an AT gun who just fired at me. As you can see, just bounced, waiting for the Argus. Okay, AT gun is down. Slowly moving up. Does it go? There's a rifleman down there. If this was a SMG guy, he would have actually killed me with a rifle grenade, with a AT grenade, which would have been disastrous, because I would have lost my Matilda, I would have lost all the means I had on the field right now to make a decisive push for a certain flag. So now I'm going to move my infantry. There's only one or two guys remaining. That's a SMG guy. He should be taken out by someone. There you go. Sometimes you have to encourage them yourself a little bit. So infantry can move up to the second row of walls. Stone walls and sandbags are really good cover. They're hard to destroy, but even tanks have difficulty destroying a wall. I mean, unless it's like a very like a Tiger with an 80mm gun. But a 40mm gun is not going to do much against a sandbag wall. As you can see here, it's a direct hit. That was a lucky direct hit. I think I hit like the hedge behind it, and that exploded the shell. Usually, it's not that easy, and you have to shoot at something either behind it, or you have to shoot in front of it, or you just have to shoot and keep shooting the sandbags until they actually blow up. So there goes the sandbag wall for that machine gun. Just going to keep the tank here to keep them from manning this heavy MG42. Well, move up the little infantry squads I have over here. Let's see, there's another infantry squad over here. Move this up in the trenches. Trenches are very good in multiplayer, single player. Just keep in mind that a trench is a very easy target for a grenade lobbing fan. Especially in multiplayer, if you have 10 people, if you have a squad and you know that you're going to defend an area, whatever you do, make sure you keep infantry spaced out in the trench. In single player, this doesn't really matter because the AI won't like charge you with grenades. In multiplayer, if there's a good player, if your opponent is a very good player, he will use trenches as a killing field. He will just like equip 5 or 6 SMG infantry with grenades and rush you time after time after time until he gets it right, and gets a couple of grenades in your trench, which will kill your entire infantry squad. Well, if you keep them spaced out, like I'm not doing this right now because it's single player and doesn't really matter. If you're doing this in multiplayer, definitely want to spread out your guys a little more, have like 1 or 2 infantry spaces between them. Also keep an eye on infantry fighting in trenches. I always keep an eye on them, and I try to move them out of the way of a grenade that's going to be thrown, or it has been thrown. Now I am direct controlling this Matilda right now because I want to make quick work of the defending Germans on this flag. There's not a lot left. This guy is okay. What he just did there is you could see this guy like reaching for his pocket. That means that he's switching to a grenade. Usually this means in multiplayer that someone's switching to an AP grenade. In single player you can always be sure that if your tank's nearby, this means that a person or the soldier is switching to an an AT grenade, which of course, if too close to the to your tank, you will throw it and probably get a crit. Like either it's a turret or a gun or even the engine, and an engine damage will usually result in an engine fire, and engine fire means certain death for your tank. So you want to keep tanks back from infantry. Let me start the rifleman. You want to keep tanks back from infantry that has AT grenades. I always send infantry up first, and I make sure that I target infantry that has AT grenades first before I do something else. Now, I'm getting some riflemen because I think riflemen are the most useless piece of shit in this game when it comes to soldiers anyway. So I'm going to use 5 riflemen to repair the Sherman back here so I can have some more more firepower. This is a rifleman. Get some more ammo dropped in by high command. And I'm gonna start repairing the Matilda, or sorry, the Sherman. As you can see, there's you can repair tanks with as many guys. Let's say you lost both tracks, the turret is damaged, then you can actually have 3 guys work on each of those compartments. Just select a guy, press the repair button, then press the tank. If there's more than 1 repair kit in a tank, you can just select another guy, press the Shift R or press the repair button and click on a tank. As long as there's a little wrench icon, now the both tracks are down and they're both being repaired, so there's no wrench icon, there's a cross icon right now. If it told this guy, like, hey, stop repairing, now you can see there's actually a repair icon. Now this guy is probably going to repair it instead of, because you know he's already working on it. There you go, because there's only one thing to be repaired. I'm confused now. There was only one thing to be. There we go. Okay, usually that doesn't happen. You can only have 1 guy work on a tank. Sometimes it glitches out. You can have 2 guys working on a single compartment of a tank, like 2 guys working on 1 track. But that usually doesn't work that way. Now the Puma just got manned, I guess, by something. There's a Panzer III-J in the middle with a 50mm gun, which is not a problem for the Matilda. 50mm guns are never going to penetrate the Matilda whatsoever, unless they use APCR. So keep an eye on that. People in multiplayer will sometimes rush a Puma towards heavily armored, like people in multiplayer will sometimes rush a light armored vehicle like the Puma, which is also very fast, speed of 38. At a slowly moving target like the Matilda, speed of 20, so the Puma can move almost twice as fast as the Matilda, and it basically means that they will try and rush your Matilda or your heavily armored tank to inflict damage from the side or even from the rear, or if they get close enough, you aren't paying attention, and you can actually get a killing shot with AP. Now, all I know is that the Sherman could have been killed by the Puma. Luckily, because you can see the Sherman has less armor than the Matilda, which is crazy to me. It has 64 instead of 78. So this one does have rockets. So let's see if we can fire these in a good spot and get a lot of guys with this one. There's a couple of them firing the rockets. There we go. That was not bad. Got a couple of guys. So we're gonna move up the Sherman and the Matilda to make quick work of infantry in the middle. Now the first mission in every nation in Men of War Assault Squad 2 basically focuses around learning the game, getting in touch, or playing basically with every tanks and infantry and support vehicles. But also it means that you are going to have to attack a single line, like 1, 2, 3 flags, and in the end you have to defend this little extra flag for about, I think, 15 or 10 minutes. So what I'm doing now is just pushing for that last flag with a couple of tanks. I'm not really being cautious because I know this should be pretty easy with 2 tanks. So I'm going to pull these guys up, pull these guys behind the sandbag so they can actually fire. These guys need to be pulled back behind this sandbag. And then we're going to push up the Matilda because it has a little bit more armor, and I know it can take a lot more fire. And so push it to Matilda, fire at the barrels there, make sure there's nobody around that anymore. Kill this guy, kill that guy. Oh, that was not a kill. There you go. I just got shot by something. I'm not sure what this was. It probably was the AT gun over there. So I'm gonna wait, and then fire. There's the AT gun gone. Always fire HE at AT guns. Also be aware, AT gun or HE has a shorter range. Okay, you just got tracked by the AT gun. AT guns have a shorter HE. Sorry, I'm so confused. HE has a shorter range than AP. So if you are in range of a target, AP wise, this does not mean you are also in range HE wise. So what you want to take care of and what you want to pay attention to is you want to learn the ranges, rough ranges anyway, of tanks and their AP and HE. So you can know that a Tiger has a range of about 160 AP and about 130 or 140 HE. And you should also know that the Matilda with a 40mm gun has a 90 or 100 meters AP and only 70 meters or 80 meters HE. These things, if you learn them by heart, will get you very far in especially multiplayer, where knowing ranges of tanks is very important against other tanks and against AT guns that the enemy is set up. So you can also know that the heavier the AT gun, the more range it's going to have. Now, I'm duking it out with a light AT gun, which is not a problem in a Sherman. If this even was a Pack 38, I wouldn't comfortably sit here and show my my tank at the AT gun for a prolonged time. Now I knew it was a light tank, so I could easily take it out. Also, the smaller the tank, the shorter the reload time, of course, or the repair time. Because it's only a Matilda, it was very easy for the crewman to repair the tank and repair the track. You can imagine that on a Tiger 2, the repair time for a track is very long, especially in multiplayer. If the enemy is any kind of sense of tactical awareness, they will probably rocket your like artillery your heavy tank as soon as it's detracked. Or especially when you're playing against the Germans, watch out, keep infantry around, because the enemy will probably, when they're any smart and it's a very good tank like a T-34 or a KV-1 or something like that, they will probably send in a Goliath, a remote control bomb, which will 95% of the time kill or at least very heavily damage a tank that it blows up next to. It's basically a 30 kilogram bomb or TNT charge on tracks. It's a remote control bomb tank, you could say. It's like a jihad tank for the 1940s. So we have the Matilda moving up, we have the Sherman moving up, we have a couple of MG guys, that's why I'm not pulling these guys up too much. We have a guy with a rifle grenade, which will probably take out the machine gunner. That was a close one. Almost. The Brits do have the advantage, or the Commonwealth does have the advantage of some good infantry. They have squad leaders that come with infantry that has actual rifle grenades. They have decent tanks like the Matilda and like the Centurion. They don't have super bad. Oh god, it's a bad grenade. This is bad. Okay, I was too late. Okay, I was just on the other side of the wall. I was very lucky. Now I need to actually heal this guy. I'm just gonna send in a medic. Yeah, so the Brits have decent artillery. They have land mattress rocket artillery, which is actually very good against infantry in the open. They have the Tulip here, which is a very funny little tank, which has that little rocket thing on the top, which is actually quite a good thing against like infantry charges. This is a special unit in multiplayer. I think it costs 4 or 5 points to buy. I don't really like going for those units, so that's why you won't really see me driving one of these in multiplayer. This guy also has no ammo, and that's why I'm putting him in the tank. But I do like the Brits. They have some good units. They have pretty good AT guns. Holy crap! Their 17-pounder AT gun just tracks. And they also have quite good AT guns or AA guns, like the 3.7-inch flag gun, which is basically a 93mm AT gun. Very good. It's very slow to be pushed, but that's something that all the heavy flag guns like the Flak 88 and the Japanese 75mm have as well. So now we captured this flag. Didn't make use of any of these reinforcements yet. So now we have to defend against a relentless German charge for about 15 minutes, I believe. So luckily we get about 3 minutes to set up our defenses.
Will try to retake this position shortly.
Yes, Rolf Schmidt, we all know how this works. Shut up. Okay, so there we go. Okay, we have 3 minutes left. So I'm going to keep the Sherman way back here because it has rockets, and I just put it on hold fire because otherwise it might actually fire those rockets by itself, and it's not really something I wanted to do. So I'm gonna have my my Matilda sit there. I'm gonna buy some SAS, Special Air Service units. Those are very good infantry. They come with Piets, those are basically just AT gun or AT bazooka things. They come with Piets, they come with all sorts of anti-infantry machine guns, all kinds of good stuff that you can use against the Germans or basically any nation. So here's the SAS, which as you can see, this is only a single player. Usually they come in multiplayer, they will come with 10 people. They come with silenced stun guns, they come with the Liesel carbines, which are just basically silenced rifles. They come with Tommy guns with 15 rounds, they're very good infantry all around. Basically they're the same as Panzer Grenadiers for the Germans, or the SNLS, Special Navy Landing Forces for the Japanese, or the Red Guards for the Russians, or the Rangers for the USA. Just very good infantry with a lot of firing power and a lot of stopping power. So now we're going to buy a Oerlikon in the middle. It's a very good 20mm flak gun. We're going to buy some more SAS for the left flank and a Cromwell for the left flank to hold that area. Cromwell's going to sit right here, so it's not going to be shot at until the enemy actually has crossed the bridge. Our SAS will cover the bridge from this location. Rather, yeah, it's actually a good location right there.
Got it, sir.
And the Oerlikon with a 20mm it's a very good 20mm. It's basically the Flak 38. It has a very good 20mm. It's very effective against infantry in the open. Light armored cars. Pumas will actually die to an Oerlikon. It's a very good unit, especially in multiplayer when you have just secured the advantage over your enemies. So let's say there's 5 points and you've secured 3 of them. It's a very good choice to go for a Oerlikon to defend one of the points you have just captured. We have another Oerlikon back here. I'm not sure what happened to these guys. They probably burned down. Seems like it. Pretty sad. I'm also going to buy an AT gun, a 6-pounder medium AT gun for the middle to ensure my victory. Not sure where these guys aren't going into cover. Come on, guys. There you go. Okay, so we have SAS in cover. We have the Cromwell ready and waiting for any tank that's going to come right across this bridge. And we have the Matilda over here with its 76mm, 78mm of frontal armor securing and holding this bridge with some SAS in backup. Now, we have 60 minutes left. This tank's just going to sit here, wait until I can actually use the rockets, reload all the machine guns. Very good idea when the fighting has reached a lull. Just make sure that everyone is reloaded and ready to rock and roll, because you don't want to like have one bullet less in your machine gun, which could mean you losing a flank. That's why I always double spacebar on any infantry squad I select, especially in multiplayer, to make sure they have full ammo in their guns anyway. So I'm going to buy 6-pounder. 6-pounder is going to go right here to fire straight over the bridge. We have 6 MP, that's not a lot, so we're just going to save our manpower. We have to hold for 10 minutes against, well, increasingly strong German attacks. Of course, so these are only assault riflemen, and I saw some MG42 right there. There will be heavier tanks and armor and stuff like that will attack. Luckily, you have 2 20mm of 2 machine guns and a lot of infantry in the middle, which is going to be their main focus of attack. We have the Cromwell and the SAS on the left, the Matilda and the SAS on the right, so this is going to be great. We have a Panzer I with 2 machine guns. This actually is a very funny tank. It only has 2 machine guns, but in multiplayer, the tank isn't the worst unit to call in as a first unit. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you know your way around light vehicles, then the Panzer II or Panzer I is a very good tank in the early stages of a battle. With its 2 machine guns, it can easily make work of any infantry squad out in the open while getting no return fire whatsoever back. Just waiting for it to come across there. Track damaged. Selecting the 20mm Oerlikon. Reloading the AP. Okay. There we go, creature. There we go. Okay, it just first had to penetrate this little wall. It took a couple of shots, but then now it's dead. So now we have a Stug G with the 75mm Stug 40 gun. Very dangerous gun. Very good tank in War Thunder tanks, actually. If people are playing that game. So I'm not really sure. Okay, this wall is stopping my AT gun from actually hitting the Stug. I'm pretty sure it also will do barely any damage. I'm reloading APCR because I know from the side it's going to be a great APCR shot on the Stug. It's a crew injured, which means it's now immobile for a couple of seconds, which will make me, there we go, fire the second shot right through the armor. I neglected the side skirts because I shut off the side skirts with the first shot, enabling me to get the kill shot on the Stug. So there's an AT rifle soldier firing at the Panzer IIF. There it is, a track damage. He's gonna fire again. Hopefully get the kill shot. No? Okay, gotta move up to Cromwell to make sure this Panzer IIF is down. and stop firing its gun. It's a hull damage, so the Cromwell can again move back behind the safe cover of the building. Make sure to reload, make sure they can make all these guys reload. There we go. Our Tulip is still back here with the rockets. Now there's a lot of squads incoming, so let's actually fire at this truck, hopefully kill it. That was close. If they would have killed the truck, they would have killed probably 10 infantry inside in the back, which would have been a great kill and a great shot. Now, there's 7 minutes left on the clock. There's a Kuba-wagon here. There's another tank on the left. That's a Panzer IIF again with a 20mm flag gun. Very dangerous tank again. It's just the 222 that I told you guys about earlier, but now in tank form, which basically means a T rifle, as you could see. They can track it, but it's very hard to penetrate them. Only if you're very close, you can actually do a kill shot on the Panzer IIF, which basically means a little bit more protection for that 20mm that everyone loves and hates when it's against them. So we have a lot of infantry in the middle. They're just getting rushed, killed and raped, as you can see, by a massive fire from both the infantry, the machine guns, and the double 20mm. Now that Panzer IIF has been tracked on both tracks by the Oerlikons, but it's not dead. As you can see, even 20mm aren't as good anymore at that range. Now engine damaged. Hopefully it's gonna no. There's no fire. There's no fire. Repeat. There's no fire on the Panzer IIF, which basically just means that they have to repair the engine, the tracks, but it's still firing, which can be a bitch because it's still firing, and infantry does not like being fired upon by 20mm. There it is, the hull damage. That's what we were looking for. It's another truck incoming in the north. Let's see if we can get this baby right now with the rockets. Okay, come on, come on, come on. That was a direct hit. The truck lived, but the infantry around it pretty much all vanished in that, what is it? 57? 93, I was totally wrong. A 93mm rocket just evaporated those guys coming out of the truck, pretty much all of them. There's another Panzer I with the double MG34 machine guns. The 20mm make short work of this lightly armored tank with only 50mm of frontal armor. Just got blown up by the other AI 20mm. So now we're holding out 5 minutes. We have our right side pretty secure with the Matilda being able to provide cover for the SAS. We have a bazooka guy on the right side. The Matilda's going to move up a little bit more so I can actually fire over the bridge. The Cromwell is still doing great, especially with the SAS in backup on the left. There's not really a lot of stuff coming that they're actually, well, should be afraid of. 5 minutes left. A Stuke and a Marder 3. Marder 3 is basically just a heavy AT gun on a very light armored chassis. So it can do a lot of damage to a tank, especially this could easily take out a Matilda from the front. Basically, the Matilda can also take out this baby from the front. So it's basically the first person that fires gets the kill. I'm not saying 50mm of armor isn't. It's actually quite a lot, but it's not enough to stop like a medium AT gun or whatever. Especially now that you can see how thin and there's only like a couple of spots in the tank that actually are 50mm armored. So I'm just getting some getting some hits on the Stuke and actually a crit hilt damage on the Stuke as well. Some more infantry on the right. We have some more infantry rushing in. Maybe we can get another rocket barrage on these guys. Is that a good idea? Maybe you could get them. No, that's not gonna work. Maybe if I hit the Marder, no, that's never gonna work. I'm just gonna save. No, I'm gonna fire them over here. Hopefully, there it is. Come on. I hit the building. That's alright. That can happen sometimes. Okay, so we have a half-track coming in now with a machine gun. A Panther actually also moving up. 75mm KWK 42 gun. Very dangerous tank. One of my favorite tanks that the Germans can field. I'm not such a big fan of the Tiger and the Tiger II just because they're very immobile and infantry can easily take them out because infantry can easily outrun them in the reverse. And a Panther has a faster moving turret. It's quite good in reverse, and that's why it's very hard to take it down. Now, this is very dumb. What I'm going to do right now is trying to take out the Panther with APCR from the front. No, it's going to easily take it. He's going to easily take me out. Only 70mm of armor. It's not a lot. And there's the engine damage. Is it going to go on fire? It's not going to go on fire. It's not going on fire. I might get a second. Okay, track damage. So I cannot move anymore. So I'm basically just screwed. I have to find a weak spot on this tank before I die. The machine gun hull. Machine gun, come on. Okay, I get one crew member in the tank left, as you can see in the bottom right. Okay, basically, if that would have gone through, it might have killed it. But now, it's not a big problem. I just need to select my bazooka guy, or pilot guy, sorry. pie guy, which basically is the projectile infantry anti-tank. It's a very good rocket launcher because it fires in an arc. It fires in an arc over built, and can fire over an arc, over cover, over stuff like that. So I'm just trying to keep the Panther. It's just been tracked by the Piot. Okay, that's not going to work. I need to also watch the middle because I'm under very heavy assault here as well. Fire there to keep some suppressive fire going. Select the Piot again. Fire over cover onto the turret. That was a very lucky shot that it bounced actually. Fire again. That's a main gun damage. So the Panther is basically just rendered useless. It's not going to ever fire its main gun again until they actually repair. And that's the hull damage and the turret damage, which basically means they have to repair a lot of stuff on this tank before they can actually repair it. I do waste all of my shells or all of my rockets on it because this guy has no more rockets left. But that's more than fine for a heavily armored tank and a very important tank such as the Panther. So now, under very heavy assault, and all these guys basically out of ammo, which you have to hold for a little bit more. So I'm going to move up the AT gun a little bit more so they can actually fire. The 20mm is just being decrewed. Maybe it's actually damaged. It is damaged, so this guy has to start repairing it under heavy fire. There's a couple of machine guns left, 20 mils left. These guys are prying across the bridge. It's a very hard-fought defense. We have 1 minute 20 on the clock. We have to hold out. There's another Panther in the north coming. There's another Panzer III J coming with a 50mm gun. It's getting quite tense. Might have to pull out the Commonwealth from this side and pull it over here. And pull the Sherman to the... Actually, the Sherman can be here. We have another Panther, 2 Panthers in the middle. We have to hold out. I'm going to move up the Sherman a little bit more so it's not going to get... Oh, okay, there just happened. Don't know what happened there, but the Panther just got wrecked by someone. I think the 76 or the Commonwealth just fired at the Panther. Got a very lucky engine compartment shot, or maybe even an ammo crit, which just basically blew it up. 75mm on our Commonwealth is a very good gun. I'm not going to say it's going to go up... Like, it cannot go toe-to-toe with the Panther, but it certainly isn't a bad gun. Okay, I have to rush the Panther because he's looking at me. Switching to APCR, trying to angle my tank as best as possible. And APCR, fire. Okay, he just outplayed me there. Just barely lost that engagement. Got to strictly buy some SAS to hopefully... Oh, this guy just ran past. Hopefully I can get the Panther before they get me. We have to do this. We have to hold out for 30 more seconds. There's a Panther on the bridge, disabling everything I have. There's a guy right here, right in front. I don't know what this infantry guy is doing right behind my tank. Let's kill him before he actually does anything dangerous. Come on, guys. Get on the wall. Need to finish off the infantry before they actually cap the flag. There we go. Now, 5 seconds left. And oh, here it is. Here it is. There's stuff coming from the side. Cromwells and Firefly Shermans are moving up. We've barely hold, but we did. We held our field HQ. I'm gonna fire some rockets onto the bridge to finish out the last Germans. There we go.
Victory for king and country.
So we won. This is the very first mission for the Commonwealth. Expect the other missions, other first missions for nations to be basically the same. Just attack a single line of flags and then make sure to hold them. And hold the last flag in the end against a very heavy assault, even against Panthers and so stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, hope you guys see you in the next one. So Sherman, ciao for now. We'll fight, it's not over till it's over.